All right. How's everybody? You can hear me okay? Okay, cool. Well, welcome to the Friday technical walk-in of week 5. Um, let's let's start by going through one by one and see where you guys are at, because this is the second month and there's a lot of cool stuff in the second month as well, like 3D as well. Most of you are familiar and comfortable with that. But the 2D part is where I've seen you guys struggle the most. So, and that's why you're here, to get that side of your skill set a little better. So I'll go down the list and let's start with Blue Light Digital Arts. What was your name? Can you hear me? Blue Light Digital Arts. Hello. I guess is not available. All right. Well, let's move to Muawi. Are you?
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Muawi.
Hi.
Good. So, how was your week 5? Any successes? Any failures?
Uh, yeah, failure mostly, but unfortunately, right now. Okay, maybe let me go back. I did not submit week 4. I had a huge burnout, like a crash out, so I was ill,
Mm.
and because of that, I actually missed my email. So Abraham actually told me that yo, the emails are sent. So that's what I was working on today. But right now the lights have gone out. So
Oh.
I should still be able to submit something. But yeah, this week actually seems not easy, but I would say more grounded in like what I can be able to achieve with what I'm thinking about, since it's mostly about storytelling, mood boarding. So like I'm an animator.
Mm.
I'm an animator and 3D artist for the internship. So I'm used to storyboarding for animations. So this should be somewhat easier, I would say.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Um. So okay. So do you have anything you had, you wanted to add, or that's it? You're good.
Uh, I guess we can talk about it if the lesson is long. Um, it, we have our clan meetings, yes, on Thursdays. So most of the stuff I told my clan leader, but it was just like over feedback on the first month, other stuff like that. Obviously, we did answer the form, but if you want to talk about it here as well, I'm okay with, I'm open to that as well.
Well, first we're gonna go through everybody and
Yeah.
see
Okay.
where everyone's at. So
Yeah. Okay.
that way we can have some time maybe to do a little bit of art. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm,
But yeah,
all right.
I mean, that sounds good, Maui. Thanks for the update. Glad you're still here and kicking it. That's good.
Thanks. Thanks.
Hello,
Hey, so Blue Light. What was your name? Blue Light?
Ian Kamau.
Ian?
Ian from Kenya.
Oh, Ian with an
Yeah,
M, right?
I-A-N.
Yeah, Ian.
So my quick question is, how do you deal with burnouts? Because I'm really struggling with it.
You're struggling with with what again?
Burnouts, burnouts, where you feel you're so exhausted creatively and you can't think about any creative ideas.
Oh, like so you need ideas. Okay. Well,
Like the burning out.
can you write it in the chat? Because I don't quite understand the word burnouts. What is that? Just write it in the chat.
Burnout.
Burnouts? Oh,
Yeah,
burnouts.
burnout. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Like burnout from what? Doing too much art, and you can't come up with anything original. Like you feel uninspired. Are you here, Ian? I think you dropped out.
I, I think you can still cover it because exactly
Right.
I didn't ask the question, but that's exactly what I went through. But my scenario was more on just doing too much because as outside of Game Up Africa, I also have like a scholarship in game dev on Udemy. It's online, but it's like a scholarship on game dev.
Right.
And I'm also doing another thing plus work. And outside of that, me and my friends are trying to like do other extracurriculars. So it's like five things at once. But to me, Game of Africa is like the main thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do I submit to the main thing? But there's also potential for like growth in these other areas.
Okay. Well, from my experience in my professional work, I'm in a similar place where you at too. Like I have a lot going on at the same time. Um, you just have to be aware that when you take something on yourself, a project or a class, any kind of task, you have to make sure that you're mentally prepared for it. It can be very tempting to do a lot of stuff at the same time, but you have to kind of be real with yourself and ask yourself the question:
Yeah, yeah.
Am I going to be able to really do all of that realistically? Right? Because in our heads, everything works out. It like yeah, it's gonna be fine. I'll do this and do that, and then as the days go by, reality hits. And what is reality? Well, every day something new. There's new surprises. The power goes out. You're not feeling good. One day your mom needs help. Your sister this, right? Something's crazy. Computer's
Yeah.
broke. So you lose days, right? So you have to be, that realistic, right? You got to be like really, really realistic with yourself and give yourself a window of mm, like a cushion. A cushion would be like to something to land on, right? In case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like if you completely fill your schedule with tons of stuff and you don't leave any room for that cushion, you'll get in trouble because something will happen. Troubles, they have a way of happening all at the same time. you know, when something goes wrong, everything
Yeah.
goes wrong,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
it's
True.
just it's kind of
True. Yeah.
crazy like that. It's just happens. So you have to be aware that like okay, let me just leave a little bit of space here. Let me make sure, you know, whatever task you're taking, make sure that you leave some space for that break or when something doesn't go according to plan. You know, you gotta do that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
things always go wrong, and it's not to be pessimistic. It's just how life is. Things go wrong all the time. You can prepare the best you can. You can have like the best intentions for everything and ideas and so on. But then as you get on to things, it's like, oh, I wish I didn't take so much on myself. I wish I would leave a little bit of space for rest, for you got to take a day off. You got to leave a day off for yourself too. That's super important. Um, I have weeks I'm
Yeah.
working seven
That's
days.
definitely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh-huh. Oh, I was saying that's definitely true. The thing that made me sort of like convince myself is because even though I'm doing a lot, it's their own the same industry, like they own the same
Mm-hmm.
field. So I'm doing game art here, and I'm doing the scholarship is like full game dev. It's just a broad overview of programming as well as art. And the other thing is level design. The thing that I'm doing with my friend is we're constantly trying to join jams. I do have a good update though, because of like the skills I've quote unquote acquired in the first month. When we participated in a game jam, we still haven't gotten results, but it was like one of the best game jams I've ever joined, because I was only focused on art, and I was able to sketch and concept art and be able to communicate with my teammates, and that was like the best feeling ever, just being able to like apply the skills in real time. But because everything is in the same area, I was convincing myself that I can manage, because I'm doing game art, I'm doing game programming, I'm doing this. It should work out, but at the same time, it's like every area requires like deeper information, so you're not really going to be able to handle everything.
Right. Yep. You gotta be real with yourself and make sure that
Yeah,
you can actually get everything you want to get done. So, and usually, it's probably a good idea to leave like 25% space for everything. That cushion I was talking about, and take a day off. Do your best to get at least one day off a week. Sometimes you need to work 7 days a week. I've had plenty of weeks that you have to work 7 days, just because there's some days it's are crazy. Life happens and whatever. There's a lot of moving parts, and the more, like, if you have more family members, like at some point you get a wife and children and animals and whatever. So the more moving parts, the more things can go wrong, the more it needs your attention, which takes away from what you need to do. It can be like other things too, it can be anything. Uh, it can be freaking, car accident, government shutdown, right? Right now we're going through a government shutdown here in the United States. So it's like, it's out of your control, right? So we're, in Nigeria, Kenya, whatever country you're in, you all have governments and stuff, and anything can go wrong, and and it affects you. So yeah, so always be mindful of planning accordingly. Very, very important. Don't rush into things. Just go slow. Take a breath. Take a breather for a moment. Stop and think for am I gonna be able to take all of this? Am I going to be able to do it? If the answer is I'm not so sure, then plan it out better, or just don't take any more. Like when you become a freelancer and you actually start making money, it becomes really tempting to take lots of client work, but it can really hurt you if you're not like controlling it properly. If you're taking more client work than you can handle, and now you're finding yourself working 7 days a week for months, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna go crazy, and you're gonna be hating what you're doing because you don't give yourself time to refresh your mind. You have to take these breaks. You gotta keep a good healthy schedule, right? We at the end of month 2 we actually have a class about this too, which is super important. There's a lesson in there about keeping a healthy life schedule. It's not all about just work and art, and um, you gotta be living a balanced life, eating well, exercising, you know, having a spiritual life, extremely important. Um, all of that. It's a big part of being an artist. It's not just doing art all day. When we're young, it's just we spend 12 hours or something doing stuff, right? Like art, and just neglect everything else, and suddenly your body suffers, right? Because you're not exercising. Exercising is huge. Exercising every day at least 20 minutes would be great. It helps you be, stay productive, and keeps your mind flowing, right? Like if you go for a walk, for example, outside, and you just leave your phone, you can keep it in your pocket, but just don't be on your phone. Try to be away from your phone as much as possible, because that thing is addicting and it's distracting. And you'll notice that many of your um, answers to the problems that you're having are gonna happen when you're not on your phone, when you're just laying down or sitting or walking outside in nature and doing nothing, just you and your thoughts. And you can literally plan out your whole day and even week in your mind alone. You don't have to, like, because you know what you have going on this week and next week, so you can start planning stuff out. And just sitting outside, in the park, in the beach, wherever, just be in nature, get some sun, right? Hear the birds, get the wind on your face. All of that sort of stuff is amazing. That's where the breakthroughs happen. Actually, the breakthroughs happen when you're bored. And it's like an intentional boredom that you apply to yourself, right? Today we have a society that are so afraid to be bored. We're always on our phones, always on our tablets, computers, TV, music, all, there's so much distraction and so much stimulation that we're not bored anymore. But when you're bored, that's when a lot of healing happens. And it's not a bad thing to be bored. That's when the creativity hits. That's when you're making your breakthroughs, because you're not being distracted. Your brain is not being stimulated. So you let everything relax. You just kind of meditate on your surroundings when you're outside. Really, really important. And this is how you get to stay creative and motivated. Um, when you have that good balance and you just go outside and observe your surroundings. Go to coffee shops, stores, parks, just take hikes. You'll get inspired. Take pictures of what you see around you. The world is a very complex and detailed place. There's like endless stuff to do and endless stuff to draw inspiration from. You just have to get in the habit of having the right kind of mindset of reminding yourself, okay, you know, what do I do now, right? Like when you're feeling stuck, remember that it's you who's preventing you from doing the things you should do. Let me say that again. It's you who's preventing you from doing the things that you should do and could do. It's nobody. Yeah, there's outside interferences, right? But for the most part, it's you, right? It's just you with yourself, and you have to be aware of that. Once you're aware that you're in control, right, and not somebody else, you take that control and you decide what are you gonna do. You don't feel sorry for yourself, depression, all that stuff. Just get yourself out of it. And by the way, depression and all that has a lot to do with diet. If you suffer from depression sometimes, and I know young people can suffer from depression because it's too crazy. The overload, the stimulation with the phones and social media, internet, it just can be crazy. I know a lot of young people suffer from just being overloaded, overstimulated. So that's why what I'm talking about right now is so beneficial for you, is just to disconnect. I put my phone on do not disturb a lot of times when I'm working. No calls, no nothing. I can check it when I need to, but I don't check it for hours. Just get in a habit of having good working habits and just disconnecting, right? Um, but yeah, this it's a really crazy, fast-paced world today. It's not like it used to be 20 years ago. Even what, let's say 15 years ago. Yeah, the smartphones entered in 2010 when Steve Jobs introduced his iPhone. So it was simpler, you know, it was much simpler. It wasn't as distracting and crazy as today. So you have to implement strategies to stay sane, right? And stay healthy. Because your mind, keeping your mind healthy is that's all you have is your mind. If you don't have your mind in a healthy place, you're gonna go crazy. You're not gonna be happy. Even if you make millions, you're just not gonna be happy. Um, you know, so you gotta make sure uh, you're spiritually healthy and healthy in the body, right? All of that really really important. Yeah, and be grateful always. You know, whatever you do, just be grateful. Don't let negative thoughts affect you. Um, you know, there's a lot of negativity out there, a lot of criticism from people, and don't let that bring you down. Just focus on what you're doing. Focus on what's good for you, right? Don't listen to the naysayers, those who keep um, bringing you down or whatever, or criticize you. Criticism, like, okay, constructive criticism from somebody who's beneficial and is experienced and is positive is excellent. Definitely welcome that in your life, right? It can be your friend too. You can have a positive friend, but if you have friends that are constantly like on the negative side, you need to mention it to them. And if they stay like that, maybe you shouldn't be their friend, because negative people, they don't have a good influence in your life. Um, you're just gonna become who you hang out with. You know, there's a saying: "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." It sounds like we're on a motivational speech today, but it's going
Good.
there, right? But it's good. You guys need this, right? Because it's not just about being a great artist. It's also knowing yourself and knowing like where you're at and where you're going and what you want to achieve and how to stay sane throughout the process, right? Start,
Yes.
super important. All of this. Yeah, I'm glad I'm recording this actually, so we can post this because this is really good stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Thanks.
yeah, so yeah, watch out for the negatives out there. You know, I see a lot of negativity in um, forums, in like even in the Steam, the game system that they have, Steam, where you download and buy
Yeah.
games and play, right? If you look at the reviews, like a lot of people just complain about everything instead of just being grateful. Like you got so many games out there to play and so much software that you can use. It's like just be more positive, dude. Stop complaining about every little thing. We didn't have all of that freedom and all that stuff back then, 20 years ago. So always remember to remain grateful. That's really important. Um,
Got it.
yeah. So it turned into a kind of a longer answer, but I'm glad it came out because you guys could really use this good stuff. Because this is how I live my life. I preach what I live, right? Um, over the years, I learned that it, it's much more than just doing a lot of art and being a good artist. When you're young, when I started in my teens and my 20s, it was just like, yeah, let's do the tons of art and be the best artist so I can make all this money and have all of these clients and I'll be happy. And then when you reach the point where you have clients, now it's a whole other game at all. It's completely. Now you have to balance that. And does it make you happy? Uh, I mean, you'll be happy when what with whatever satisfies you. Um, money is just a means to an end. It shouldn't be like the driving force behind what you're doing and how you live your life. You know, actually, there is a scripture in the Bible that says the love of money is the root of all evil. So money is good, You can use it, but don't love it too much because you'll get in trouble. You'll get greedy. You'll hurt the people you love. You know, you want to be generous. You want to be kind. You want to use your money for good. You know, that sort of thing. Don't let the money be the decision factor in everything you do. Okay. So, well, let's move on to Abraham. You there?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me,
Hey,
Daniel?
hey.
All right. So this week has been more or less enjoyable for me because currently um in the context in the course outline, this week's assignment kind of like fits in with what I do personally as a 3D artist. Because in the future I hope to intend to start creating my own animation. With the characters I end up creating with maybe ZBrush or Blender. So learning how to create storyboard and um, what was a major take for me was also learning how to pitch your game idea. I know it's not really applicable to only games, but I mean generally pitching yourself and whatever you do to people so you can secure investment. So learning all these was kind of like helpful and moving forward to discovering platformers for games and all that. So yeah, it was a pretty decent week for me. But regarding my assignments, still currently working on it because I have been on personal projects, which were the ones that we came on yesterday to work with, where you gave us the corrections and you just hopped on a call on the Discord call with us and taught us a few bits with some ideas and every other thing. So yeah, I really thank you so much for coming on yesterday. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm glad you guys are finding the classes, the lessons useful, and you're taking things away from it. And a lot of the also a lot happens in these kind of calls. You see, like when you guys come up with questions about how to stay motivated, and then it turns into a 20-minute motivational speech, right? But this is why it's so great, coming together and coming up on these lives and sharing thoughts, sharing your experiences, and your troubles and your successes, and celebrating all. Yeah, just remember to celebrate it all, because that's super important. you know you should, guys, you should celebrate your failures too, because the failures is where the successes will come from. You can't succeed if you're not failing at first, right? So don't look at failures like, oh, I suck and I can't do this. Like, no, this is a milestone. Every failure is a milestone towards success. That's how you need to look at life in general. So never let failure bring you down to a point where you're like giving up. Cool. Yeah, glad this works out for you, Abraham. All right. Well, let's move on to Ayomide Shogo. You there, my friend?
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, you're a
This
little
week has been
yeah, you're kind of noisy. I don't know if it's your microphone or it's distorted. Try again.
okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, a little better. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
So
evening.
so so
This
how
week
was
has been going well.
yeah, just share with us, how was your week? How's your progress? Any successes, any failures, anything you want to share?
Okay. I just finished watching the videos. Although I've started my week one assignment. During the week I've been I've been choked up with a lot of schoolwork and other projects. But I think I'm getting the assignments, and I've started the day one assignments of this week.
What's that?
Hello.
Yeah. hmm you need to turn off the power?
So did you guys get that?
Oh, well, I can't right now. Maybe in like half an hour. Okay.
I maybe I can hear you. I'm the only one that can hear. I don't know if others are hearing me though.
Yeah, I think he has latency issues.
Okay, Mr. Daniel isn't-
All right.
No, I've not encountered any issues currently.
Oh, yeah, you're good. That's all you wanted to share. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, uh, you do what you can do, right? There's no nobody's like sitting on your shoulders and forcing you to make the assignments. The more you can do, the better it is for you. The whole point is to get more towards becoming a professional, basically. But yeah, the more you can get done, the better. Let me see. Getting messages
All right.
here. Was that?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Um, so we're getting messages that basic plan. Oh wow. I hope it doesn't disconnect the call or anything because we're going over 30 minutes. That's crazy. It didn't used to do none of that. Everything is just being monetized. Zoom calls are just the same thing now. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, let's go to the next person. Um, all right. Daniel Ive, are you here?
Hey, I'm here. I just joined. Sorry.
Okay,
Good
cool.
man.
Drawing is good. How was
No,
how was your
I
week?
just joined. I just
Oh, just joined.
um
Okay.
yeah. I just joined. My week was fine. We had lot of activities at work today. I'm sorry, this week we had this we had like a games sport office sports thing on Wednesday. We started Thursday, and we had like a lot of staff resuming today, about 30, which I had to run through because I'm the IT support. So the whole onboarding process and creation of emails, I I had to do all that today. And also, yeah. How's yours?
Okay. Do you have any questions about art or the lessons, life, anything?
Uh, I do, but so I need to get my notes.
Say that again.
Okay, so currently my main issue still it comes from painting, and also like when it comes to painting, I think I've gotten better with like the coloring and stuff, but I still have issues with blending, rendering. I also have issues when it comes to like drawing lines. Like I feel like I don't get my strokes right
That comes with
with
practice,
my
of
hand.
course. Yeah, to get strokes right is practice. Just practice, practice, practice. Have a sketchbook and do lots of line work, and you'll notice every day You'll notice improvements
Yeah.
the next day or the second day after.
Yeah, I think I've gotten better, but yeah, I still have I have a long way to go in terms of that.
Yeah, daily practice is key. It's better to practice 20 minutes a day than to practice like 2 hours a week. Really. Um,
So 20 minutes a day, like every day.
yeah, yeah, every day at least 20 minutes. If you can do, ideally, if you want to become a professional, you need to do minimum 6 hours a day. But to keep yourself on some kind of a rhythm and to keep yourself getting better and at least minimum 20 days, if you kind of want to stay in shape. But if you really want to make progress, then you need to put in the hours, 6 to 12 hours. Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Ouch.
These hours these numbers may be shocking to some of you, but
Yeah.
I'm just telling you realistically, if you want to be drawing as a career and painting and doing concepts and animation and all of that stuff, yeah, that's the amount of time you got to put in.
Mm.
Yeah, especially now, there's so much AI work that is doing like pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing with AI is it only copies existing styles,
Yes.
right? So it cannot create its own new style. It just knows what's out there and it can emulate what's out there and create it really in a really good way. But here's the thing: you can create your own style, and no AI can replace that. It can copy that, right? There's no replacement for human creativity. AI is not creative. AI is just being um, creative in a copyish kind of way, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
come up with something new that never been seen. So this is why practice is still gonna get you to a special place, because when you practice a lot, you're gonna discover your own style, and then when you discover that your own style, you become unique for who you are, right?
Yeah.
Because your style is you, but you're not gonna get to that style unless you practice every day and a lot.
Yeah.
That style eventually will come to you. It's just embedded in your DNA. It's who you are. It's your preferences. It's what you like, what you don't like. All of that eventually, after many many hours, that hundreds, thousands of hours of practice, you practice so much that your style just naturally starts coming out. And then once you see like your style, you'll recognize like, oh yeah, this is my work. Then you can push it even further. You can start exploring even different ways of doing what you like, to make it look like your unique look, right? Just like
Yeah.
um, you have the anime, right?
Yep.
And there's different types of anime, and Shibi, right? Studio Ghibli, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, about that.
Right?
Um, animation. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a very unique and recognizable style, but everyone's
Yeah.
copying that style. So instead, think about doing something unique of your own and having your own voice, because you'll get hired for what you can do and nobody else can do, right? So remember, you have a
Yeah.
lot of worth. A lot of your worth comes from the way you think, okay, the way you approach problems and solving them, your personality, whether you're easy to work with, you're overall easygoing, it's called, right? It's really important. Nobody wants to work with douchebags. You can be a great artist, but if you're a douchebag, nah, I'd rather hire somebody maybe not as good as you, but
Better, easier to work with.
right, right, because you want to be working with people that are fun to work with, easy to work with. They're not egoistical. Like they can take correction and run with it, right? They understand they're part of a pipeline. Pipeline means there's other people in the team members that are working on the same project as you are, and it's not just about you and what you want. It's about your understanding of what the team needs. So that's
Okay.
where your worth comes from, of
Yeah.
all of these things, right? That's how you think, how you behave, how you solve problems, whether you're easy to work with, right?
Yeah.
Man, some good gold nuggets for you guys today. Love it. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, let's move to Muawi. Oh, hold on. Actually, no, we already had Maui. I'm just going by the list. No, Sharon would be next. Hey, Sharon. Sharon Abiyes Suko.
Hi everyone, good evening.
Hey, hey. Good evening. How was your week?
My week was okay. I got to do some of the assignments, although I've not started on week 5 assignments because I'm a bit behind,
It's
but
okay.
I'm still working on it and I'll eventually catch up.
Yeah, you can always catch up later on. You know, th- those lessons are good to go back to and rewatch them because there's so much good stuff in there. Um, yeah. So no stress, no worry. Are you the same Sharon? We talked to yesterday on the call.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes, I am.
cool. All right. Yeah, we did like a spontaneous Thursday walk-in,
Yeah.
so it was fun. Um, yeah, I might jump in this coming week as well. So you guys, if you guys are on a call and you're working on something, I might jump in and reach out, help you out, whatever. So be on the lookout for that. But how do you feel? Like are you getting like you learning some new things from this course and
Yes, I am. And it has really improved my art. Like, I was actually surprised like by how much I've improved, especially with character design and environments, particularly environments, because I never drew environments before,
hmm
but now at least I can do some stuff.
Okay, good. Yeah. Um Glad to hear that. And the improvement happens when you just jump in, you know. You know how it is like when you want to go for a swim in a pool and you just dip the tip of your fingers in the water and it feels really cold. It's like, ooh, no, I don't think I'm gonna go in. But instead of doing that, you just jump in. And yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird and cold in the first few seconds, but then your body gets adjusted to it, and then it feels really good in the pool, and then you're swimming and having a good time, right? So it's the same thing with art. You don't want to just like dip your toes into it. It's like try a little bit. You want to jump all the way in, like you did. Like let me do this. Let me jump in and do environments and just tackle it the best I can, not being afraid. Just do it, go all the way in, and then you'll notice like, oh, you're getting adjusted to it. It's not so bad. It's actually a lot of fun, and it becomes enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Always to remember, use reference, guys. Always reference is key. So don't be afraid to use reference. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It's actually encouraged. You must use reference, especially when you're beginning stages of your learning and you're studying environments. Whatever, characters, environments, animals, creatures, props. Use tons of reference because it's gonna keep you on your track constantly because you keep referring to the reference and then you're looking at your work or whatever it is you're doing, and then you know where you should be, right? So yeah, reference is key. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Sean. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to Thomas. You there, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah. Hey, good evening. So, what do you have to share? How did it How did it go?
Uh, it's been, I think I was filling the form, the same response I'm going to give. It's a bit challenging. I think I need more time to understand the concepts, right? I think that, um, like we have a week to go through the topics, but it doesn't mean that I'll be able to affect them by a week. So it's like I really work or listen to the things by Friday like this after work. So to be able to grasp all of it is it's usually not realistic.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to to see progress. I may just do it to complete an assignment, but I'll not be able to do different variations over the week and compare my progress. So it's a challenge. But I heard you talking to somebody. I feel like it was some way that it's helpful to me. You're saying that we should try and balance things, right? So that like at least things will always go wrong at a point if you are overwhelmed. So I think I understand from that point.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking that I have to take off some things. I should rather try and focus. If this is the course that I want to do, I should take make sure that I'm making time for the course. Try and find a day out of the whole week to dedicate to the course. I think that would be the best solution. Like for me, that you've already given me what I should do from what you told the person. Yeah, I think I'm not grasping. Like if I have to learn the, I did an environment for a background for the course. I did some sketches and all that, but
Hmm.
I feel like I just did one just to submit for the assignment. But if I can make time another day and then keep doing more sketches, I think I'll see the improvement over a number of sketches than just a few ones every week
Hmm.
just to complete an assignment. So I'm going to make
Most.
time. I already took some days off for next month, but for this month, I have to try and shed off some duties so that I can be effective from this weekend going. Right. And then when I enter my leave in November, I think that I will see more results at that time.
Yeah, most definitely. It's much better to do little sprints throughout the week than a one long marathon because you'll benefit from little sprints much more. Even if you can do 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day is better than doing a marathon on the weekend. If you can do,
Okay.
yeah, if you can do 20 minutes, even better. Just sketch something, because it'll keep you fresh. It'll keep the information um, fresh in your mind, and your mind is getting used to doing art on a daily basis as opposed to just once a week. Imagine you're doing exercise once a week. That's not going to benefit you. You can exercise
Yeah.
for 2 hours a week, but then you lose all of it throughout the week, and you just exercise just like every Saturday, for example, as opposed to you'll exercise 10 minutes a day for 3 to 5 times a day. That would be much more beneficial.
Yeah.
You'll get
Yeah.
benefits. So, one second. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you, Thomas. Um,
Thank you too.
yeah, I think let's see. I don't think I had Taiwo, right? Taiwo, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, Danny. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. So yeah, the guys and the gals were sharing their their experience throughout this past week. I don't know if you want to share anything, any any successes,
Mm.
failures, anything, questions about anything.
Well, to be really honest with you, this past 5 weeks has actually been tough, for me, personally, because I'm a 3D artist. I'm a 3D artist, so having to do like art is really quite new, and um it's not like I'm one of the people that, oh, since I've been a kid, I really loved, comics. You get what I'm saying and all of that. So I was not that sort of person. I was not artistic. I was just majorly in the science space, right, as a pharmacist. So having to now really come into the animation and the whole art space is quite new. So and then having to now deal with concept art and having to sketch and draw. My drawings have been really terrible. And but at the end of the day, it's all part of the process. So just here actually, and just holding on and just pushing through. So currently for me, because in this part of Nigeria that I stay in, we've been having a lot of light issues. So I was having a conversation with our clan leader this week, and I'm like, bro, I'm still like I'm trying to work on my week 2 assignments. So and I'm currently watching like the week 3 videos, like the one where you are having this conversation around Adobe Illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really where I am. So as much because the whole electricity issue actually made me, I'm not like up to date with like the current week and all of that. But yeah, it's all good. So
Awesome. Yeah, don't be afraid of sucking at something at first. It's just the natural process of things. Uh, you know, if you enjoy what you're doing, then it doesn't matter. You'll suck at it at first, but you'll get better. And doing 2D will benefit your 3D greatly. I always say that because it's just how it is. Um, when you understand um, characters in a 2D form, when you can draw a character in a pretty decent kind of way, your 3D stuff will be so much better. Because you just understand, the the figure, the anatomy. You understand. You see it in your mind from all angles. You don't need the 3D software to show you the character. You can already visualize it in your mind. That's the beauty of concept art. With concept art, you learn how to visualize something in 3D in your mind and then put it on paper from any angle, as opposed to like traditional artists who do just like nice paintings of grapes on in a vase and flowers and stuff. They're excellent at copying whatever is in front of them and making it very beautiful, and it's like a really nice painting that you can hang on your wall, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've done that and it's fun. But concept art is very valuable in that sense that you can create anything out of your imagination. Like your client will tell you, I need something completely out of the ordinary, right? And it's a concept that, a traditional painter would not be able to do because it doesn't exist. The only place it exists is in a brief that you read because it was formed in a mind of a client, somebody who's creating something. It can be anything. It can be a movie, a game, an animation cartoon, an ad, right? There's some really creative commercials and ads out there that people come up with always, and you need somebody to be able to visualize those things. So, as a concept artist, you you learn all those skills to be able to visualize things no matter what it is. And once you're able to do that, you become extremely valuable. Because just so you guys know, um, this is the one thing that AI is really struggling with, is coming up with these complex concepts. And from my experience working with clients, my use of AI is mostly for like texture work, because it creates textures so well, and it can create some inspiration and some cool ideas, but it cannot solve problems. You can write all the prompts in the world, but it's just not it's not going to do your concept art work for you, not at all. Not It's nowhere even close to be able to replace human beings at this point for like good concepts, good problem solving. That is extremely valuable, to be able to solve problems. And clients, many times, they their problem is like, I have this concept in my mind and I need it drawn on a paper, and show me how it can function, or how can it some let's say you have a little drone that needs to be folded into a pack, like a box, right? Or a drone, like make it like a little transformer, right? Stuff like that. No way AI will do that. You have to figure all that out. And the only way you can do that is because you have experience and you practice drawing and you have problem solving skills and you've done a lot of drawing, and you literally just sat with pen and paper and you solved problems all day long. And eventually it trains your mind to be a problem solver. And then you become very valuable because you can solve problems. You can create concepts which are very valuable for clients, because there's always new ideas, right? But what AI does replace is a lot of like people who can render really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody who can copy stuff, um, that they can't really create original ideas from scratch. Yeah, those jobs are are going away. So today you have to be much more creative and push yourself more. Definitely. I'm not saying that AI is not a problem at all for anybody. Um, it comes with many benefits, but it also takes away some of those low level jobs that used to be available for artists, like even on DeviantArt and Upwork and whatnot. AI can just replace all of that. So if you're on a low level, you're not going to be making even those nickel and dime jobs anymore, because people can just go on Midjourney and hit a prompt and it's going to create something that's good enough for them, and that's okay. That's why we as an artist, we have to be much more diligent and smart. You got to become smart. You have to think about how you increase your value as an artist to your clients. So in your case, Taiwo, you're a 3D artist. You're mostly doing 3D animation. That's good. But if you can also be good at 2D, that will increase your value by a tenfold, if not more. Because now, let's say you meet up with a client face to face, or even on a call, right? Just a video call, and your client says, "Look, I have this idea of this robotic dinosaur in a remote planetary jungle, and it's a transformer dinosaur, and it needs to have rockets for propulsion. It can fly around the jungle, and then it also can weld, because it was just programmed to weld stuff, put different metals together, and it could create little dinosaurs." Like, good luck with telling AI to do that. No way. But if you can draw some rough sketches right there on a call, right, and share your screen, suddenly it's like, yeah, your client is like, exactly, yeah, that's the direction I wanted. I'm a bad drawer, I can't draw, but yeah, this is what I wanted. Suddenly you're able to do that in 2D right there, rough sketch on the call, or if you're in a coffee shop, suddenly you have value and you're hired because you can do that. See? Something small like that, going from 3D into 2D, suddenly raises your value so much that you can get a job that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to. Plus, you'll be much more valuable in your 3D work because your work is just going to naturally improve. There's no way around it. It will improve. Your 3D work will improve if you do a lot of sketching and drawing and anatomy, figure studies, just sit in coffee shops, draw people. Oh man, you have no idea. Your animations will improve because what's happening now, you're look at Glenn Keane from Disney. You should watch some of his lectures and see the things that he talks about. But it's a lot of observing humans, how they interact, how they move, all of that, the gesture, right? All of that has to go into 3D. This is why Glenn Keane, I don't know if you're all familiar, but Glenn Keane is a very, very known and successful animator at Disney Studios. He's still with Disney, I believe, but he worked on the most famous their animated movies like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, the Lion King, Simba, right? So he would actually go to the 3D artists and help them to make the 3D characters feel and look more alive. He would do overpainting and overdrawings on top of the 3D models, like in Rapunzel, for example. That was done a lot because the 3D artists, like you guys, they don't have too much experience with 2D. They come more from a 3D background and they're good at what they do, but something is lacking, right? So Glenn would come in and would spend weeks and months with them and push them to draw more and to practice gesture, figure drawing, anatomy, all of that stuff. And that was what was missing in the animated movie Rapunzel, Tangled. Right? That wasn't Rapunzel. It was Tangled. That was what Rapunzel was the main character there with the long hair. Yeah, so he helped a lot, and he's completely 100% 2D artist, like animator, right? He did all, I studied his drawings a lot in the past, like Tarzan. Oh, that was a lot of fun. It was so unique, so expressive, those lines and everything. But yeah, that's why 2D is so important. 2D and 3D, they just overlap each other. They definitely work together. So
Thank you so much. Like, thank you for this depth of explanation. Like, I never really saw it this way. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome, dear. It's just how it is. This is a lot of stuff that artists are not aware of, right? And a lot of the struggles are in what you know and what you don't know. When you're a beginner artist, you don't even know what you don't know. And then you come on a class because you want to know, you want to learn. Suddenly you realize the things that you don't know, all right? It's called the 4 levels of competence. So then you realize the things you don't know. Then you start practicing. Then you become competent in the things you didn't know. And the last stage is being competent in such a way that you're not even thinking about it. That's like in your subconscious. So at first, you don't know what you don't know. You just know that there are things you don't know. Then you join a class or whatever, somebody teaches you. Now you're aware of the things you don't know. Then you become competent at the things you didn't know. And at the very end, you're so competent that it comes as second nature. You're no longer thinking about it. It just comes automatically. That's where you want to get. You want to practice enough that you're no longer struggling with techniques or anatomy. You're getting your ideas on whether it's 3D or 2D with ease. It's like a breeze. Like, yeah, now you're having fun. Now it's game over. Once you spend like 10,000 hours or whatever you need to get to, it's game over. Now it's flowing and it's fun and it's not so much a struggle. Now you're more focusing on the problem's solution. Now you're focusing on what your client wants rather than struggling with technique and the perspective is wrong and all of that stuff. Yeah, you want to have good habits. That's why you always want to work with perspective grids, know your anatomy. Remember, perspective affects everything, including characters. Just have good working habits. That'll save you so much headache. Trust me, this is from experience. If you just set up even just a basic perspective grid on whatever you're doing, if you're doing 2D, it'll make your work look 100 times better than trying to guess the perspective. Because trying to guess the perspective is going to make things look wonky. You're going to lose motivation. You're going to get depressed, and you're just going to throw it away and go play a video game. Because art is no longer fun. Well, it's no longer fun because you're not following the steps. Follow the steps. Have a perspective grid. Have a reference open. Have your motivation on, right? Stay positive and just keep going. Don't be afraid to fail. All right. Thanks, guys. Did I miss anybody, or did we go with everybody? Samuel, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Samuel. You're muted, Samuel. You can go. I see you raise your hand.
Okay. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, so I think I've just like most of everyone here, I've missed a lot of my weekly tasks, but I'm trying my best to catch up to them. I've been trying to be more consistent with making arts, especially for the weekly tasks. Even like when you came in yesterday and stuff. But I still have like a lot of problems with confidence with like making backgrounds. I just like do the original concept and I just stop there because like I'm just afraid of moving forward because of like how complex a scene might seem. And I've not like found a lot of like good references to like follow for like simpler backgrounds because complex scenes are so much more harder, but then there are not so many easy, simple background references that I've managed to find. So, what do you think about this whole conundrum problem?
Okay. The conundrum is that you need to simplify things and make things easier on yourself. Because I totally
Yeah,
understand how intimidating all of this can be. Um, you have to break things down into manageable steps. Um, I think it's either in week 1 or week 2. I break it down for you guys on like how to go easy about it. You start with a black and white sketch, and I definitely encourage you to go back and rewatch some of the lessons, uh, because remember, you're only gonna remember about 10% from everything you watch and hear, right? So that's why it's so important to rewatch and re-listen and reread things, because you're gonna retain more and more each time you read. It's just how it is. So go back and
yeah,
rewatch, and you'll notice that you'll suddenly see things that you forgot. It's like, hey, oh, that's right. I should start with simple black and white sketches. Or if you're studying, if you want to do like a complex background, you really like it, the scene, whatever it is. Okay, well then you can do it in few different ways. You either break it down again into black and white and just sketch it out, and then or you can start in color but start with big shapes first. You put in the big shapes like blobs, boom, 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 right? Whatever it is. Okay? That's not intimidating, right?
yeah,
Putting down big shapes.
yeah. It's not.
Right. So you already have something on your canvas, okay? And then move on. Put smaller shapes. You're still not going into full detail. You never want to like start detailing like one spot and then moving to another spot. You want to start with big shapes, lay down everything, get rid of the white canvas. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I'll demonstrate, but we're running low on time. But yeah, get rid of the white canvas. Put on the big shapes. Then start putting medium shapes. Start adding a little bit of detail here and there. You're still not going into fine details. You're just putting shapes everywhere and colors and start comparing values, right? Go slow.
Yeah.
Break it down into manageable steps where you're not so overblown by everything. Or you can just, you know what? Let me show you. Do you have like do you have any kind of background do you want me to show you on, like that you really wanted to study and do it, but it was intimidating? Can you post it in the chat and I'll load it up here and I'll show you?
Okay, just give me a second.
Yeah, because there's some cool tricks that you can do to make things easier on you. And I remember when I was studying all those years ago, yeah, it was like intimidating, but you gotta be brave. Yeah, you gotta be brave with it. There's no other way to do it.
Should I put it up on Discord or the call?
You can click over here. Do we have chat? Yeah, we have chat here. It's on the bottom, on that bubble, the chat bubble on the right bottom. Can you upload files in here? Oh, yeah, if you can't put files in here, then just upload it on the Discord.
Okay.
Or send me a link. If it's online, then send me a link to it. But whatever. Just tell me where you're gonna post it, so I'll grab it.
Okay, let me just find the background real quick.
So, are you studying like paintings or real life photos?
Real life photos.
Okay.
I sent it to the Discord, the art center.
Cool. All right. So this is complex, right? Yeah, it's pretty pretty complex. Okay. But it's not that complex, really. If you really think about what, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Like if you really like break this down, I'll show you. You'll notice that it's not so bad. So one thing you can do is really blur the image. Like you blur it quite a lot.
Okay.
Okay, to kind of help you see the details of what really stands out. So let's move it this side. So you can blur it even more than that. See what it does, it just simplifies the image for you, and you start noticing like the big shapes. Remember I was talking about the big shapes?
Yeah.
So you start, let's say we want to do a study of this. So so the way I would start it, I would start with the blue background, right? You can also turn this into black and white if you like, to simplify it even more. Go to color,
Okay.
add a, oops, like that, so you're not distracted by the color, and then start analyzing the image. Analyze the lights and darks, right? That's essentially all you're going to be doing, is comparing lights and darks. And then you can turn that off and just have this image, and then you can go between the two to kind of help you out to simplify things. But let's say I'm analyzing this right now. Let's move it this way. Oops. No, it should be the other way. There we go. So you start. My son just barged in the room.
That's cute.
So you see, you start with something simple. You start comparing the values. Like you see the values here. Yeah, that's pretty close. And then okay, let's start with this big shape over here. You can do it with the lasso tool as well. Go like this. But this would be even too detailed, right? Let me show you even a better, a more simpler way than that. So this is relatively light, so it would be like this. That would be one shape, like that. And I start to measure, right? So we got this area over here, so that should be around here. So I went too far. You start measuring with your eye, right? And then the arch is about here. And then there's another arch over here. Okay, that's one shape. I leave it like that. I do not go in details. Then I go darker value, put it in there, put it in here. It probably should be a little lighter, and that's it. And now I keep moving. Okay, I can sample from here, and if you need to sample here, to see where you at in the value. No, don't touch. Hold on, guys. 1 second. All right. Yeah. Put this over here. Then there's another shape behind it. I'm not gonna worry about that so much. I'm gonna worry about the light. Where is the light? So, because that's all it is. It's just that, so it's light and dark. That's all we're doing right now. We're breaking it apart into small details. So there's this shape over here. Oh. This shape over here would be the next one I could do, and this you can sample it to see where you at on the levels. But if you want to really learn, do it from your looking at it without sampling. But if you're not sure and you want more accuracy and you want to cheat a little bit, then that's fine. Then again, you do this shape next. And of course, yeah, there's some details here, boom, 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 and that's it. That's all I'm gonna do for that shape. Add this here. Now there's this section here that is all in light, like all of this. I'm gonna do that next. So my guess it would be somewhere over here. So got light here, light over there. Not worried about the steps yet and all of that. I'm just trying to lay down the main shapes. Okay, that's pretty good. Got maybe do it like this over here. And then you'll notice that you can add light to different areas and you start working on it, but that's it. Now I want to do this area over here, all of this. So, all of this here is darker because it's in a shadow. So you just go like this, and that's how you think. You think in large shapes at first. This really will help you simplify everything. So it's not so daunting, right? See? And then we have these dark occluded areas in there. You add those in. And then there's some light over here. You add that in. Like that. And then there's a little bit of light there. And there's some of that stuff going on there. And there's definitely a lot of variation in value there. Like there's darks, very, very darks, very dark in here where the sun doesn't hit. So, and the more you do this, the more your brain gets used to doing these kind of studies, right? And and you see now what's happening, right? We got some variation here. We got like a little bit of this going on here. And then there's also like this shape here, which goes behind this. So you could, if you want, you can use a lasso here, like that, to add that shape. And this shape is going to be darker than the arch bottom. So you notice that differentiation, and it should be like kind of like this. Right. So what you're doing is you're basically just measuring and trying to get measurements of distances of different elements between each other, and trying to do your best to put things. And then you see there's more light in there behind, so you can add those elements in there and a light in that area. And then there's sky here, so you do that. And there's definitely like a dark area in here, and then you add that in. and so you see I start with the big shapes, and then after you put in your big shapes, you can start going in there and starting to work in the details. But you don't work on like one spot for an hour. What you want to do is you want to work a little bit over here, a little bit over there, right? You want to work uniformly on the entire image at the same time. Just do like 5 minutes over here, 5 minutes. There's really no like set time, but what happens is you're able to see your image as it progresses in a more uniform manner, right? Rather than just rendering a spot for half an hour. You got this cool spot rendered out, but it doesn't fit the rest of the image. And now if something's off, you just spent half an hour and you have to erase it, and it's just a wasted time, basically, right?
Yeah.
But this is how you approach it. You just take it one step at a time, and then you start with the big shapes, and then you go and start refining. and go in and refine. You can use adjustment like level corrections too to push those levels further. Oh, that's too strong. You can adjust it to kind of make everything fit better. Yeah, that's not cheating. That's you recognizing that the values are not as accurate as in your study image, and you're just adjusting, right? That's all you're doing, and then you can collapse it, and then you're done. You have your base image, and then you the same thing you do with color, right? From this point, you can either just remove this and start do the same thing with color straight on, or you can add color layers here, right, and start adding colors on top of it. I'll show you. Do this, then there's sky over there, and a little bit over there. This would be like an orange. So there's variations here. It's not all orange. There's grays and oranges here, so you can do it like that. But you see how when you simplify it, it's not so crazy anymore, right? It's not so scary.
Yeah.
Right? And you see how there's blue here in the shadow?
Yeah.
That's because of the blue sky. So you can add this blue in the shadow. So shadows are not completely black all the time. They definitely have blue. Even like rocks, you see that like certain areas here, they have blues in them. That's reflection of the sky. So in the shade. But where the light is, it's gonna be warm. So yeah. There you have it, You have the big shapes in place, and now it's all about going in and detailing the whole thing. You have bushes and all of that stuff. That's the little details. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it seems so easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not really as hard as it may seem. You just have to have knowledge on how to approach something, right? It's like, what could it be? It looks like riding a skateboard, right? You know how you see those skateboarders they do crazy tricks. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever did skateboarding, but it looks like impossible, right? But if you actually try to skateboard for a few days, you can in a day or two you can actually already ride and just push with your foot and at least stay on a board and not flip over, right? And then try to do an ollie jump, right? You can learn that in a week or two.
Yeah.
So it's just everything is doable with the right approach. You just have to know how to learn and how to approach something. So it's not so scary anymore. And notice,
Thank you.
yeah, go ahead.
No. Don't worry.
Notice how in here, right? It's warm. You notice
Yeah.
it's not gonna get the light of the sky in here because the sky is not reflecting. But what it is getting, it's getting the reflection of the ground. So the light comes like that. Let's pick a color that's visible. It comes like that, and then it bounces up, and this is why this looks warm, and this is why this is not completely dark, right? Here, this is dark because the light, although you see it bounces over here, like the light comes down here, and then it bounces, boom, 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 and eventually it dissipates. But it doesn't go too far in there because it's deeper and there's less light. So basically, when you have the darkest areas, is because light is no longer bouncing all the way in there because it's just deeper. But even even here, there's a little bit of blue. You can see there should be a little bit of blue in here too. So if I would paint it, I would add, because this is like a green, right? You see how this is
Yeah.
green? And then
Yeah.
if you add blue and green, you get kind of like a cyan color like this. So that's the kind of color I would use in there. This is part of the knowledge, like knowing what's happening. Understanding what's really happening with light and color is really gonna help you a lot to make your image look more believable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we get everybody?
I think I was the last person.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Ayomide, go ahead. Ayomide.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when after getting your values, like you painted the dark values to contrast with the light values, how do you like how do you start coloring it without going against your values?
Say that again. You're breaking up.
And white. How do you start painting it in colors without going against your values?
Oh, how do you start painting in color?
Yeah.
Oh, same way I did this. I would approach it the same way exactly.
Like if I'm painting a kind of like imaginative scene, like a concept art scene, maybe kind of like a desert, applying the colors like such that I don't eventually pick colors that have the same values. Like without going and following the reference.
Can you write down your question in the chat, because you're a little uh, breaking up a little bit and it's hard to understand. I know you're asking something about how to paint in the values in color without reference. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Like doing a kind of like a concept art scene or
Oh, well, that comes with experience, doing a lot of these kind of studies, studying daily. 20 minutes a day of doing these kind of studies will help you a lot, because it's going to feed your mind with this knowledge. Because what happens when you do a study, think about it. Let's say we're doing the study, right? We're analyzing. Okay, so you're doing stuff. You're picking colors, you're picking values, you're thinking about shapes, right? All of that stuff. That does something. That's so the act of doing, it trains your mind. It's called muscle memory. So all of that stuff goes into your memory, and then you remember. You'll see. Do a study today. Spend a half an hour on a study, and you'll notice that after you're done with that study, that memory of doing the study is going to be so fresh in your mind, you'll be able to do something without a reference, completely from scratch, which will be very close to this. I guarantee you that. That's the power of studies. It's just you're feeding your brain with that information, and your brain will just remember. And tomorrow you'll remember some of it as well. Not all of it, maybe half, maybe 30%, 20%, depends on how much you're taking in, right? But you will remember. And then the more you do these studies, the more you'll remember, the more there's repetition, and then when there's repetition, that means your brain is learning to do something habitually. It's like you wake up every day and eat breakfast. Your brain, knows. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna eat, or lunch, whatever. If you don't eat breakfast, um, but that's just how it is. It's by habitually practicing is how you're gonna be able to do something without reference. And remember, it's not so much also about like being the best artist doing stuff without reference. You're not really, when you become a professional, it's like it's no longer so much proving to people like, hey, I didn't use reference. It's just making a living, and whatever way it works, you just do it. And if like you know what I'm saying, you're not really trying to like be the best artist that never uses reference, or like trying to prove something. You know what I mean? If you need reference, use reference, because
Yeah.
some people's memory is better than others. Like for me, I need to use a reference for most of the time. I can do stuff from my head, um, but I find out that when I have reference to look at, the quality goes up much better. So
Yeah.
don't be ashamed of using reference.
Okay.
You see how?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You see how I'm approaching the color? Very very similar to how I would do it in the black and white. It's pretty much it's the same thing. But because I studied so much and I did so much, I understand value with color now. So it's much easier. Right. Of course, it's gonna be like grays over here and all kinds of cool different details. But yeah. All right. So let me save this and yeah, and we're done with our walk-in for today, guys. Unless anybody else has any other question. Everyone's good? Everyone's happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a really good walk-in. Lots of good nuggets. I'll post it on YouTube so you can re-listen to it while you draw, because it's a good chat. Definitely a good chat. Lots of there's motivation in here and tips and all kinds of good stuff. All right, guys. So if you have any work you've done this week, just post it. I'll go over it on the weekend. And remember to stay positive and have a lot of fun. If it's not fun, then something is wrong. You got to make it fun. All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, you're
Done.
welcome. Yeah, take care, guys. I'll catch you up next week. Woo! Bum, bum, bum. See ya.